Good morning, beloveds. He's right there. There he is. Okay. I'm going to make a cameo today. I'm the power of going to the gym. It was hard to get out of bed. It was hard to get in the car. It was hard to get out of the car when I got to the trainer's house and the walk up. And then the first thing he asked us to do, and I was just like, no. But I feel a whole lot better since having gone. And he asked me to do a couple of really ridiculous things, but it helped. The names of the workouts are kind of funny, and he explains them, why they're named the way they're named. And we actually made it all the way to the ab part. Didn't get the ab part, but he knows us well enough to know that some days we just don't, and so he works them into the workout. All right. It is April 16th. Our author is Emilie Cady, and it's from her book, God, A Present Help, which was published in 1938, and it was reprinted with the permission of Unity. So she was part of the Unity crowd. And you've heard her, especially if you've listened to Jesse, because he's used her as an inspiration before. So the title is Life, a Ministry. And there is a quote: "Whosoever would become great among you shall be your minister, and whosoever will be first among you shall be your servant, even as the child of humanity came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give their life as a ransom for many." Well, and that's a quote from Jesus. So, looked at from a purely commercial standpoint, the life of Jesus Christ was a failure. His place in the world was obscure, his occupation a humble one. The work of his hands commanded only the usual recompense. From the world's point of view, his contribution was merely that of an average man. Even after his public life began, he seemingly failed just as significantly as before. He made himself of no reputation among men. In the field where his greatest visible success lay, the delivering of men from sorrow and trouble, he sometimes failed. He saved others. Himself he cannot save, they cried, when deriding him, all the way to his ignominious death. He stood before self-satisfied men, chief priests and Pharisees, as a failure. Why? Because he and these men were living from an entirely different standpoints. People were living largely from the external. Jesus was living from within. People were reckoning success then as the world reckons success today, largely in terms of numbers and figures and the possession of external things. After 2,000 years, we can see that the life of Jesus Christ, lived so obscurely, so unostentatiously, really was not a failure that it seemed, that he was living a life that in the long run was the only successful one. For today, when his contemporaries have passed away and are forgotten, his life stands forth among people and within people as the inspiration of all love and all goodness and the inspiration of all success. Well, I was not prepared to come today and talk about how big of a failure Jesus was. I was not expecting that. But I haven't read that book. So I've got one of her books, but I don't think it's that one. But the point that she's making is 2,000 years ago, as in today, we still reckon success the same way. How big is your bank account? How flashy of a car do you drive? How big is your house? How many houses do you have? And that's not it. That's all external. And more than once Jesus said, lay ye not up earthly treasures, because they're going to rust. You can't take them with you. And instead, and she makes that, and it's almost that throwaway line. It's like those people who derided him, those people who made fun of him, they lived life external, and Jesus lived the life within. And that right there is, it's like the key to unlock that box. Live life within. It's like if you live from the inside out, if you live from your heart out, if you live, if you live with your heart and you let your heart guide you, it's not about the money. And there's nothing inherently wrong with the money. There's nothing inherently wrong with the flashy car and the big houses and the multiple houses. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is very distracting, and people get caught up in that and forget to look inside. They forget to look at the heart. They forget to look at the good that person does or does not do. Jesus came and healed people and, taught people to live with love. That was his whole mission. His whole mission was to come here and say, you know what? This out here, this isn't what it's about. It's about here. Go and meet the source of your own being. Go and have a relationship with God. Go and have a relationship with the source of your being. Go and have a relationship with that which animates you. Go and have a relationship with that which breathes you. And then extend that relationship to all the people around you. He truly was a servant. He came here to heal, to teach, to love, to teach people to love, to teach people to heal. And honestly, one of the most healing things that we can do for each other is to listen to each other. As Ernest Holmes says, that people are dying to be told that they're okay. That one of the most healing things, and Jesus did a lot of listening. He didn't do a whole lot of talking. Apparently there's a Bible called the Red Line Bible, and in it, all of everything that Jesus said is highlighted in red. And, you're talking a couple of hours. He didn't talk a whole lot. What he did was his actions. He went out and he went among the people, and he worked with the people, and he loved the people, and he talked to the people, and he stayed away from the elite. He stayed away from the flashy houses, and, and that's not where his work was. And he also came to remind us that this earthly life isn't all there is. He came to remind us that there is life beyond this, that which, it's a strange turn of phrase, and I think it's Buddhist, that which breathes us, that there's more beyond this mortal form. He didn't have to save himself because there was nothing to save himself from, because he knew that there was something beyond this. And that was, the I won't say the greatest part of his message, because still the greatest part of his message was love one another as I've loved you. But it was a very important point in his teachings. There's something beyond this. There's more beyond this. Love one another as I have loved you. You're going to quote Jesus. That's a good one to start with. So, yeah, all right. Miss Cady there. That's not, I've never heard anybody do that before. And I that's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So now I have to decide where I'm going to get a mission out of that. As the inspiration of all love and all goodness, and the inspiration of all success. Even after his public life began, he seemingly failed as significantly as before. He made himself of no reputation among people. In the fields where his greatest visible success lay, delivering the people from sorrow and troubles, he sometimes failed. He saved others. Himself he cannot save. And that's a reminder. He didn't have to save himself. He wasn't here to save himself. He was here to remind us there's something beyond. So, because he and his disciples were living from an entirely different standpoint. Jesus was living from within. I'm not sure that I have a suggestion for you on what that looks like, but the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to live from within. The external stuff is nice, but it's not going to get us where we're going. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to do what Jesus did and live from within. All right. And that is up to a whole lot of interpretation. So, yeah. Take it for what it's worth, and take it for as you will. All right. Whew. I went to the gym today and my stomach is telling me that it is hungry. So I'm going to wrap this up by reminding you of the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like, big or small, does not matter. Point being is to practice on yourself. Practice love, practice kindness, practice compassion. For multiple reasons. One, you are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback. Two, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Absolutely practice on yourself. And three, I'm encouraging you to create a habit, a default setting, a first response, so that no matter what happens in your life and when you are dealing with other people, your first response is loving, kind, and compassionate. And it's being loving and kind and compassionate does not make you weak. In fact, it's one of the strongest things that you can do. It does not make you a doormat, because you could still be loving. Sometimes one of the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do is have strong boundaries. And yet, while yes is a very loving, kind, and compassionate way to answer, so is no. And no is also a complete sentence. So practice on yourself. It is absolutely about self-care. If you are going to live a life of ministry, self-care is extremely important. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You must take care of yourself. So, love, kindness, compassion. Be gentle with yourself, especially when you are learning to live from the inside out. You know, we're going to make mistakes. It's okay. It's what we're here to do. We're here to learn. And you just heard that how big of a failure Jesus' life was according to the standards. And yet he did what he came here to do. And 2,000 years later, we're still talking about him. So, we could definitely take a page from him. So take care of yourself. And then, absolutely remember that it's also about making room for joy. The suggestions that I give you to take a walk, to take a nap, to take a deep breath before you speak, to eat dessert first. I say it flippantly, but I mean it. Your life is a special occasion. We may only come this way once. We don't know. So, treat it as a special occasion. Eat dessert first. Go to the fun places and the amazing places. Eat the good stuff. Wear the nice clothes. Take care of yourself. So, all right. And as I said, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Absolutely. Practice on yourself. Okay. Jumping into, I don't know. I guess I'm at the part where I encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, especially if you don't feel like it, because it'll help. I do encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain will work better when you hydrate, when it's well hydrated. I do encourage you to get early in your day bright light. That's one of the things that's nice is his gym faces almost east. So you get plenty of bright light first thing in the morning. So I'm like wide awake now. But what I'm talking about, it's called a circadian rhythm. It is a hormone. It is a natural hormone cycle. You get that early in your day bright light, especially on the face and forearms. It helps to reset those hormones. You'll sleep better at night. You'll have more energy during the day. It is science. You can look it up. So that's my suggestion for you. Like I said, I'm all about self-care. I'm a big believer in self-care. And so these are just quick and easy tips that can help you live your best life. So I'm then going to quote my Ernest Holmes quote. As a Science of Mind minister, I feel like I should have one, right? Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven. Right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay? That is us being willing to look at the world around us and see God everywhere. That's what that quote means. Being willing to look at the world and see God everywhere. To look in the eyes of each other and see God looking back at us. To look in our own eyes and see God looking back at us. To recognize that we are spirit in motion. To recognize that we are divine channels. Open the windows of your soul. And it's also a reminder that heaven is a mindset. It is a state of consciousness. It is definitely something that we can learn because we come pre-installed with it. All right. Christ consciousness. We come pre-installed with that. The password is love. That's how we learn to create that heavenly state of mind. By living from within out. To making that pilgrimage every single day to the source of our own being. And recognizing who we are. And recognizing that we are a divine channel for that divine love to come into the material realm. And to recognize that God wants us to be happy. God isn't this judgy being in the sky. God is a principle. And God is love. So, of course, God wants us to be happy. And one of the qualities of God is joy. So, and you can always take Emma's advice. If you want to open the windows of your soul and create that heavenly mindset, that heavenly state of mind, look for the good and praise it. Look for the good. Gratitude will absolutely get you everywhere. It's one of the most powerful forces on earth. Gratitude is. You want to change your mind? Start a gratitude journal. All right. So, look for the good and praise it. Open the windows of your soul. Live out loud. And live from within out. That is the message from Jesus today. So, and like I said, live out loud. Take up space. Please, do that. There's too many of us that make ourselves too small in this world, and we deserve to be heard. So, take up some space. All right. I guess I'm at the social media part where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I do encourage you thoroughly to check them all out. Check out the YouTube channels, and in particular, the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel. That is where we archive the Sunday talks. I'm hoping to learn a new skill today that will let me get some older talks up. So I'm very excited about that. So, yeah. And I just lost my train of thought. So I'm going to remind you, if you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. And from there, the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll either take you right to the information you want. Like if you're interested in the soul session playlist on our YouTube channel, that click here now will take you right to that playlist. And there's a lot of great content on that. If you are interested in, and so it'll either take you right to what you want or to the person that can help you get it. All right. I'm just going to jump here into encouraging you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, a living out loud day, a living from within out day, a getting to know who you are day, a taking a look at our standards day, a weed in our garden day, a sun day, a enjoy the cooler weather, because this could be it day, a taking care of ourselves day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a divine spark, a brilliant light. You are spirit in motion, God in action. You are a godling. When I say that you are God, that you are that God is that God is well represented in you, I'm reminding you that every day you teach people the God of your understanding. And that's when I said, looking at our standards, are we teaching people the God of our understanding or the God we've been taught? It's worth looking at. But whatever else know that you are a beloved child of God. You are a beloved child of spirit. All right. It is Sunday, so we're going to have an amazing service for you here in a couple of hours, which means I need to go eat breakfast. Because it's probably less than it's about an hour and 15 minutes. I need to go eat breakfast. Reverend David should be around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you between 9 and 9:15 tomorrow for our regular daily scheduled readings. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.